Hello and welcome to the HiddenUX podcast. This is Manuel Makoto Gonzalez, hijo de Carlitos, and today I want to talk to you about careers advice from the careers advice people. I remember when I was at college, right? And at that time, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, right? And I actually spent 3 years in college because I flopped my first year. In my first year, I did business studies, law, and media studies, right? And at that time, I thought, I want to do media studies because I want to be a filmmaker. And then I did business studies because I thought I wasn't actually interested in business, but I was just thinking about all those environmentalists that were always campaigning against businesses. And I thought, if I worked within a business, then I could make changes on the inside rather than struggling to make changes on the outside. And that's why I did business studies, because I thought, let me try and make some changes. Let me be the force from the inside to make those changes that people are protesting about on the outside, right? And then law came in because I thought, you know what, that's something my dad was always interested in it, and I thought, yeah, you know what, maybe getting into the international criminal law side of things might be interesting. Put away some of those gangsters in suits. Yeah, that might be something I might get into. And the first year didn't work out too well. Like I flopped the exams. I didn't even attend some of the exams, and so I had to start again. And then that's when I got more focused, and I thought, okay, well, let me really look into this law path. And in reality, it wasn't something that it was laid into interests of mine, such as, I was getting quite politically aware at that time. I was just reading what's going on in the world. I was just really consuming my Noam Chomsky, John Pilger, Howard Zinn, that folk. I was just exploring different political persuasions, seeing what the socialists are saying compared to the capitalists and everything in between. I was just exploring. But one thing I did know is that it felt like, wow, a lot of people are getting away with some crimes around the world. On an international level. So I thought, maybe I'll get into that space. Maybe I can do something about that. And I think I was encouraged by the fact that my dad, he had his own law story of him always wanting to be a lawyer, and that was something that he couldn't fulfill. And I thought, okay, that could tick that box. I could complete his story. This is something that he would want me to do. I could be that lawyer that he wanted to be, right? So it was laid into that. So when it came to me attending my first careers advice session in college, and I remember the careers advice asking, what do you want to do? I said, yeah, I want to do law, and hence, what should I study? And I remember him telling me that, okay, well, if you want to do law, you need to do like some strong academic subjects like business studies, media. That you wouldn't really class those as academic. People really like history, English, economics, maybe things like that. And even though I did like an AS in law, that's like half an A level in law. He was even telling me, well, some universities don't even like you doing law at A level because they like you, starting from, in case you need to unlearn some things, right? So I thought, okay, well, I better switch up. And, at that time, I think the first year, it was already going bad for me. So I thought, okay, let's start again. Let's pick these academic subjects so I can go all in at law. And hence, so I changed. So came my second year, I restarted and I changed my A levels to sociology, politics, and history. Okay, and then that was that. That was the extent of the careers advice, where I was asked, "What do you want to do?" Okay, so if you want to do that, then just pick these A levels, right? And what I feel like is actually needed is careers coaching, not careers advice. Careers advice is just what I just said, just the process I described. Someone asks you, what do you want to do? You want to do that? Okay, just pick these subjects. You're done. Game over. You're finished. As in, that's it. End of story. But careers coaching, I feel like is even more needed, even more valuable, especially at that stage of your life where you could get somebody to not only ask you what do you want to do, but why do you want to do it? Is that really the thing you want to do? So if I was to replay that and get careers coaching rather than careers advice, I would have loved someone to ask me, "Oh, you want to do law, Manuel? Okay, and why is that? Why do you really want to do law?" And then, then they could have explored everything that I just shared in terms of, okay, well, I'm interested in putting these gangsters in suits away, and I'm interested in international law, and, I read these things, and it's something my dad always wanted to do, etc., etc. And then hopefully they would have then probed even further to really understand, okay, well, outside of that, is there anything else that I always wanted to do, always wanted to be? Is there anything else that I feel like has been missing in my life that I always wanted to resurrect and begin again? Is there anything in my life that I do right now that I just love doing out of joy, or that I want to do and I want to try out? And I think what that careers coach would have found out is that, I've been essentially outside of my element for a while, since a younger age, where I moved away from my creative art endeavors, and I stopped for no good reason. And these were the things that I actually wanted to pick up again, right? And just to explore how that made me feel, and what do I feel like I want to do about it? Why haven't I done anything about that? And I think that would have just uncovered so many layers of the thing that I should actually be pursuing that is authentic to me, not something that I'm doing that seems like on the surface it's related to my interests, but really I'm doing it to please other people. Okay, and I feel like that's at the heart of what careers coaching could do. Really questioning, why do you want to do this thing, right? So that you study the right thing, right? You study the right thing before you study the thing right. Okay, what that means is you need to understand what is the right thing for you to pursue and study before you pick how you want to go about achieving it. Okay, what careers advice does, it only addresses the latter part. It only addresses how you go about achieving that goal of study. So in my case, it was law. So hence, how do I get into law? Study these A levels and then apply to a law degree, right? But it didn't question why. It didn't make sure, was that the right thing for me, unique to me, authentic to me to be studying? So if you're in that situation and you're getting careers advice, make sure you take a step back. Don't just get the advice of how you go about pursuing that career you think you want to do, you think that's right for you. You need to take a step back and really question, well, why do I want to do that? Is that really the right thing for me to do for the rest of my life? Am I really doing it for myself? Or am I doing it to please someone else? Okay, it's so important, because if you don't do it now, you're going to come back and you're going to address it at some point in your life. And you might look back and regret and think, oh man, that was the moment. That was the moment where I knew something wasn't right, but I just went along with it. I just went with the flow, and I didn't question it, and I didn't just stop and take a step back and just really question it. And I know it's hard, because I remember in college, everything's just moving so fast. You haven't even finished college, but you're already applying to university. You're already getting yourself set up for the next thing, and you haven't even finished the thing you're doing now. And the thing you're doing now, that may not even be the right thing, but that's going to affect what you do next. So just pause. Nothing wrong with just pausing. Just stop and make sure, are you studying the right thing? What we all need is careers coaching, not just careers advice.